Welcome to the weekly edition of the Patent News. The use of state-sponsored patent trolls, officially known as sovereign patent funds, is growing. SPFs rely on tax dollars to seed their operations, lowering their operating costs and creating a subsidy that allows them to pursue even more dubious patent claims. SPFs also fulfill a mission by targeting foreign companies, thereby raising the operating costs of foreign competitors relative to their domestic counterparts. Peace is finally breaking out in smartphone patent wars. Here are some recent agreements in patent litigation cases. It is becoming clear that the Supreme Court's decision in Ellis Corporation versus CLS Bank marks a sea change in the patentability of computer software. The numerous recent decisions invalidating software patents under Ellis will force software owners and developers to find other ways to protect their investments in the software product. The decision in Ellis Corp versus CLS Bank is also said to have caused drop in IP litigation. However, a study by Managing IP indicates that there are other reasons as well. The Patent Trial and Appeal Board seems to have shifted the balance between plaintiffs and defendants in litigation. A PTAB trial implies a stay of up to 18 months, and the plaintiffs could end up losing their patents altogether. As a leader in science, technology and innovation, the United States has played a central role in global intellectual property matters. The USPTO is continuing this leadership role as they hosted a roundtable on the international harmonization of substantive patent law recently. The proliferation of 3D printing is going to have a considerable impact on intellectual property right holders. Many equate this phenomena to the digital revolution in the music industry, where record companies eventually transformed from selling physical products such as compact discs and DVDs to selling electronic files online. Before switching to the online model, record companies attempted to enforce their intellectual property rights against file-sharing websites such as Napster and Grokster. However, after years of litigation, the record companies joined in on the digital revolution and licensed their rights, resulting in legitimate music download services such as iTunes. Some predict that companies that manufacture and sell products will skip over the IP enforcement phase attempted by the record companies and instead proceed directly to a licensing model. In April this year, Penn State University held its first patent auction. It offered exclusive licenses to dozens of patents but only received a single bid. This is consistent with experience at other schools. Evidence shows that vast majority of technology transfer offices lose money for their university. Let's move to our courtroom section. A US District Court judge sided with DeLorme Publishing in its contentious patent infringement battle with Briar Tech IP over the handheld emergency satellite communication devices. The judge found the patent invalid as similar products predated Briar Tech's patent. Samsung has shown that it is not afraid to chase big legal injunctions when it believes its patents are at stake. Now it is Nvidia facing a US sales block at the hands of South Korean firm. The US Supreme Court had a busy 2013-14 term, especially when it came to patent cases, granting a record 6 writs of certiorari, and this year's term promises to be even busier. It is time for some international news. Heads of European Patent Office and China's State Intellectual Property Office met in Brussels to discuss how to further improve and align their patent systems in order to better support innovation in both regions. The patent box policy of UK took effect last year and allowed companies to pay lower tax bills on profits derived from innovations they patented, typically just 10%. Germany, along with 40 countries, led a campaign arguing that the patent box effectively gave preferential tax treatment to intellectual property. Finally, UK is now set to rein in and reform the policy. Pitching for tighter intellectual property protection in India, US Trade Representative Michael Froman has said that the country needed to enforce a world-class IPR and deal with issues such as piracy, counterfeiting, trade secrets, and compulsory licensing. Meanwhile, members of Intellectual Property Owners Association, based out of US, met government officials in India, including those from the Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion and patent offices during their 7-day visit to India. However, their plans to hold meetings at Delhi High Court had to be put off after patient groups, health activists and public interest lawyers objected calling these efforts blatant attempts to influence judicial outcomes in cases related to drug patent disputes that are currently before the courts. Further, Doctors Without Borders, the French charity, urged the Indian Prime Minister to not give in to the pressure from the foreign pharmaceutical industry. They feel Indian patent system has helped millions of people in India and across the developing world by providing access to affordable life-saving medicines. The Supreme Court of China has issued the provisions on the establishment of intellectual property courts in Beijing, Shanghai, and Guangzhou. On November 24, 1874, a patent was granted to Joseph Glidden for barbed wire fencing. On November 25, 1975, Robert Ledley was granted a patent for diagnostic X-rays. Russell Pennyman received a patent for a transparent photographic film on November 26, 1895, and on November 27, 1894, Mildred Lord was granted a patent for a washing machine. Moving on to amazing patents. Recently, Disney filed patents for using drones at Disneyland. We prepared an animation that indicates how these shows will look like. Please support us by subscribing to our channel by clicking the big red button below, and feel free to like and share the video among your tribes. Until next time, keep innovating and keep patenting.